Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Jazz Drummer Austin McMahon, pianist Joe Davidian, and bassist Dr. Jamie Ousley. We spoke in mid-April 2020 about their new and impressive CD, The Lost Melody, New Songs for Old Souls. This trio has a lot of history together, and they are simply making some tasty jazz. They speak about releasing a CD during a pandemic, what has been going on, and how they are coping with all of this, and what the future might just be. Enjoy.
All right, cool. Well, hey, as I was saying up top with Austin, I've really enjoyed the Lost Melody, the new CD, New Songs for Old Souls. And what I was asking is kind of how you feel about this project from an artistic standpoint, and then contrast that with this being released during such a unique time of our lives with, which goes without explaining with everything that's going on.
Well, yeah, I think to answer the first part of it, the whole mentality and idea behind the project was kind of a return to the melody being the centerpiece of a song and kind of the style of these old, the Great American Songbooks. But we wanted to kind of create our own version of that. And because when we play together, we've been playing standards for a long time. And I think we always loved that, but we wanted to kind of make it a little bit more personal and have our own stamp on that. And also, we're all particularly inclined to write very melodic music and, taking a different route than a lot of other modern jazz, I would say. So, that's just my 2 cents. I don't know if Jamie and Joe have anything to add. Okay, yeah. If not, the only other thing is the second part of your question, the biggest challenge right now we're facing with releasing the music during a worldwide pandemic like this is that, we had a tour scheduled for mid-March, like right at the beginning of all this sort of quarantine and lockdown in various cities. And, that all got canceled, but we were really excited to get out there and share this music with an audience that we haven't really tapped into very much, which is the southeast of the U.S. And so, we're obviously disappointed that we can't be out there playing for people, but we're trying our best to come up with maybe a creative online CD release where we have some sort of Zoom party or something like that on the actual release date, which is going to be May 1st. So we're trying to respond to it creatively, but, we're also bummed we're not out there making music together.
Okay. Well, and this is Jamie. Since you asked your question, my mind's been racing about the second part of your question. What is it like in this environment? Leading up to the CD, because we had this tour planned, it's like we were just like rushing and pushing to get the CD finished. The artwork, the mastering, the mixing, and it was like just like a dash to the finish line, and then all of a sudden it's like the floor drops out.
Right.
That's what that experience was like. And now it's like, well, when will we be able to plan a tour? When will we be able to perform again? And it's a lot of uncertainty. So I think, that's just what everybody's experiencing now, is this uncertainty. And I know for myself, I'm usually going towards a goal. And since, some of those goals are hard to plan right now. Like, do we reschedule the tour? And if so, how far out should we try? So those are kind of things in my mind. And
yeah, me too.
One thing that just happened is right before I got on this call, I was speaking with somebody else who's president of a jazz organization, the Miami Jazz Cooperative. I said, I'm sorry, I have to go have this interview for this, CD that's being released. He says, oh, well, you guys should do a virtual CD release party for our Monday, because we're doing every Monday night, the Miami Jazz Co-op is doing kind of an internet broadcast.
Cool.
And they're doing, solo performances or from people's homes, as well as interviews. And so, yeah, we should schedule you guys for early May and have the three of you on. And you can't play live, but you can play some of the music and talk about it. So in that respect, it makes me think about, usually when we do a CD release, it's in one location, but this kind of does equalize things, because our families would be able to be there from all over the country, and our fans from even we have friends in Australia, Iceland, they could potentially participate. So that's kind of exciting. It's kind of an equalizer.
That's a good point.
And nowadays, you can get music online anyway, mostly. It's going to be available. So in some ways, it's kind of an equalizer. I don't know. But obviously, the heart of what we do is playing and communicating in music together live. So that's a big missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Joe. I'll chime in too, just to add to what Jamie and Austin have said. It is a challenge in terms of the touring, but on the other hand, I'm kind of like noticing the world slowing down in a lot of ways, and just like maybe having more time to sort of focus and to just like listen deeply, and I know for me anyway, I'm finding a lot more time to listen to music right now even than I did before this all went down. So I'm even kind of exploring new music in a way that I haven't before. So not to try to spin something so awful that's going on in a positive, but I think it is a different world, to try to release new music into. And I just hope, I feel like our music is very healing. And of course, we didn't write it specifically for these times, but we always want people to get healing from the music that we put out there. And so I think there's, an even greater possibility for that to happen, right now when everybody's just has high anxiety. I know for me, just listening to music has really helped me feel more at peace. So, I think there is a bit of a positive there too.
Yeah, those are great answers, and I guess I'm going to kind of keep this interview more centric to what's going on in the world, since that's just kind of what's been happening. So I want to ask one more question, and this: what revelations do you hope collectively both audience and musician get from this experience, so that when we do actually get back together physically to do, shows, what do you hope everybody gets, holistically speaking?
Well, I think this is Joe again. I'll just continue kind of with that thought again that music aside, or just, anything specific about this album aside, I just think, I hope that people will recognize what's important. I don't want to sound preachy, so it's really about me. I hope that I am able to look more at what's important and what I value in the world. And I know, it's becoming more apparent to me all the time that music is a huge part of that, and art and community and fellowship and friendships and family and all that stuff, So in a holistic sense, that's what I'm hoping this kind of pause will do for the world. And I think, how we, I don't know, how we come back together is going to be a real challenge, obviously, in a slow process. But I just think the music can really be a unifier in helping people, recognize what's important. So I don't know if that makes much sense, but that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on more of a specific point to our specific approach to music and jazz and melody, I think maybe if this is a return, we don't even know what the return to regular day-to-day life is going to be, and we all hope right now that people are going to learn and gain an understanding of, like Joe said, how to slow down and how to just take a little bit more time and get into things a little deeper. But at the same time, that speaks very clearly to also the approach of our group, just like the return to the idea of a melody, sort of this older concept that's sort of faded away and is now maybe we can use this as an opportunity to kind of represent it as a new concept. Maybe that's a little bit pretentious or self-righteous to say that, you know, we could be part of like some kind of renaissance in a way, but you know, just to get away from Joe's more holistic point and just kind of talk to more about the musical angle.
Gentlemen, I really wanted to catch up about the album. It's a wonderful list, and I hope people get out there and take advantage of it. And before I guess we go, you should probably just say where they can pick this album up, any way they can get this to support you and the project.
The first avenue that we actually kind of really launched it on was Bandcamp, partially because Bandcamp was actually doing a campaign to support all the artists, and they gave artists 100% of the sales on just one day. I think it was like towards late March, shortly after all this happened. And so we launched it with a free, or with an instant gratification track on Bandcamp. And I don't know offhand. I think it's either thelostmelody.bandcamp.com or bandcamp.thelostmelody.com. I'd have to double check that, but I can email that to you, Joe, if it's
sure,
if you want to have the exact link. And then so that's already up there where you can get one track instantly if you buy it now, and then as of May 1st it will be available on iTunes and Apple Music and through CD Baby's warehouse and everything.
Probably Spotify as well, and it is thelostmelody.bandcamp.com.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
And also our website, right? Yeah, thelostmelody.com.
Well, hey, gentlemen, thank you for taking some time out during a pretty extraordinary time, and stay safe. Good luck with everything, and I really dig the album, so great work. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks so much, for your time, man. Appreciate that.
Thanks for listening and tuning into another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest cats in Boston, New York, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Austin, Joe, and Jamie for their time, music, and stories. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino in the iTunes Store. Visit Neon Jazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz all the time, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.